as we kick things off.
Time your run here, boys. Don't go early.
Finals footy in Melbourne between these two great rivals. It's a great kickoff. What a start for Melbourne, and a horror show from the Sharks. Will Kennedy could not contain it.
Well, it was flat. It wasn't high. It was flat and hard. And being down on ground level before the kickoff, the wind is swirling. It just misjudged it. William Kennedy went straight over his head. What a start by the Melbourne Storm.
Kickoffs can set the tone. Trindle goes short. Can they get it back? The Sharks. Plenty of hang time and diffused beautifully by the Melbourne Storm. So they start 15 metres out. Terrific take by Katoa. And now Asifa Solomona. Inside the opening minute. Sloppy looking, play the ball, given the all clear as Liero has a crack. So the Sharks' connection that they talk so much about being tested early here. Grant from dummy half. Important contact by Nickera and the fullback Kennedy, who made the mistake from the kickoff, of course. Now Munster. Oh, Munster! It's a dream start for Melbourne, and the birthday boy from yesterday makes the early statement.
Yeah, it's been a big week for Cameron Munster. He had his third child with his wife Bianca on Monday. Celebrated his 30th birthday yesterday, and he scores the opening try for Melbourne here tonight. This was the kickoff. Harvey Norman replay. Here's the kickoff here, just straight over William Kennedy. It was great deception by Harry Grant to start with, and then Munster, he used up Big Nelson, drew the attention of the Sharks defenders. It was Toby Rudolph who just plants, worries about Big Nelson, Asifa Solomona, and Cameron Munster. Like the best of them, he bamboozled them.
Well, for the home side, it doesn't get any better than that. But for the away team, the Cronulla Sharks, you could not imagine a worse start to a big game. We've seen this spasmodically over the years. They get to a big game and someone fluffs the first kickoff reception. That was incredible. And within 3 tackles, Cameron Munster has pulled their pants down in public and planted the ball down over the line. You couldn't get off to a worse start if you're a Cronulla fan. For the Melbourne Storm, that's just brilliant.
And Nick Meaney with a straightforward look here. Makes it 6-0 to Melbourne.
Time your run here, Ronaldo. Don't go early, Kale. Stay behind here, Siffer. Yes, mate.
Welcomed baby number 3 into the world this week. Blake Maria, born 7 weeks early. She'll be in hospital for the next 6 weeks. What a moment for the new dad. And Munster in the opening minutes here. So the Sharks need to reset and go again. This kickoff holding up in the breeze as Hughes takes it safely. And the Storm look to build off the back of points through Liero.
I've seen a lot of games over the years, a lot of games, where a heavily favoured team scores in the first minute and it actually comes back to bite them. It actually softens them a little bit. But not all teams are the Melbourne Storm. I think they'll just ignore the scoreboard and carry on regardless.
Well, it changes your mentality that you come into the game with. You get easy points early. You think they're going to come all game. And the opposition start again. They build their foundation. But already, it's the second time Harry Grant's got out. Found some space.
Now Munster to go high. Down towards Katoa, who's called his name. And look at that chase from the Storm. Tackle made just outside the 10. Let's get a feel for these conditions now with Freddie Fittler.
How are you, Speedy? It's actually not too bad. It's pretty chilly. It's saying it feels like 3 degrees. There's a big wind behind the Melbourne Storm, a southwesterly. But once it gets into the stadium, it seems to swirl around a little bit. But outside that, mate, beautiful crowd. on that eastern side. Have a look at the sun in their faces. I'd like to be sitting there.
Yeah, the record crowd here, 29,315 in the 2015 finals against the Cowboys. Late offload for Brayley to go back to McInnes, centre field. And it's Trindle who takes on the kicking responsibilities. This one holds up, and the Sharks, will it bounce? Might favour Melbourne. No, it favours Cronulla, tied it up by McInnes, and now Rudolph. It might just work out here for the milestone man. Oh, he tried the kick, and it was effectively charged down by Hughes.
Well, he had to get rid of the ball. He had Sharks outside him unmarked. There's a real chance there for Cronulla. You just see how strong that wind is behind the Melbourne Storm. It hung up there in the breeze.
You weren't there, mate.
Well, it only hung up in the breeze when it got high. The early part of its trajectory, it was okay, and then as soon as it got above a certain height, the wind got it. As Brad said, when the wind comes into this stadium, it can swirl around a little bit, but up higher, it's obviously heavily favouring the Melbourne Storm. So the Sharks are going to have to kick low if they want those kicks to go anywhere, clearing kicks.
He confused himself there, Toby Rudolph.
He didn't even know what leg to kick with. He just dropped the ball and kept running.
Interesting one, because it's effectively knocked on by Jerome Hughes, but that makes it a double knock-on because Rudolph's in the kicking motion. Rarely seen kind of activity, so I think the right team wound up with the footy. Liero again. Called in for a taste of Origin camp this year by Billy Slater at Queensland. And oh, what about that? Contact by Rudolph, but Bloor just goes through it in his first final. 6-27 record for him as a Tiger, now playing finals in his first year with the Storm. Sean Bloor. So Munster taken on play 5. It's up to Hughes on that right side now to go high for Warbrick to climb. And off the Sharks, I think, for Kennedy to tidy up. Line dropout is the call.
And it's a good battle on that far side, especially with the ball in the air. Ronaldo Mulatalo and Will Warbrick. He got a good grab on that, Will Warbrick. He got in front of Mulatalo. Down to you, Freddie.
The one thing I've noticed with the conditions, it's very slippery across the top of the grass. And as you can see, Will Kennedy there just couldn't quite get his footwork right, but the ground's very firm. And every time the ball's bounced, it's bounced high and it can go in strange directions. So look for that for a few chip kicks or a few bombs. If they let it hit the ground, it can be unpredictable.
So the bunkers wade in here. They spot the knock-on by Warbrick. So it starts with a Cronulla play the ball, and they clocked off at dummy half and go nowhere. It's Will Kennedy, perhaps still haunted by the kickoff that started this game. And now the penalty. So a sliding doors moment for the Sharks, perhaps. Billy, how hard is it when Will Kennedy's made that early error to get it out of your mind and move on?
Well, it's important. You know, the experienced players do it a lot easier than the inexperienced players. They've just got to move on. The whole team, though, has to move on. They can't stay in the past.
Look at their history in interstate finals. They're 1-7. But this year, they've won 6 of their 7 interstate games. McInnes going nowhere. Here's Trindle. Looking up with Wilton, playing in that left edge. Back row roll, 5 tries for him this year. It used to be Wade Graham's domain in that grand final year. Head-to-head with Will Chambers so often. They had a great rivalry, those two. I think of Paul Gallen against Cam Smith as well, the 2 state captains. And Kale Iro, well contained by that right edge for Melbourne. That's under the microscope for the amount of tries they've let in this year. Warbrick alongside Meaney, and they keep it on that side with the high ball. Up goes the Kiwi, and takes it successfully at the defensive end this time. Good battle between him and Mulatalo a couple of times already. Became Melbourne's top try scorer of the season last week with that hat-trick, Will Warbrick, as they warmed up against the Broncos for finals footy. His Coates off the other wing. 14th game of the year for him. Missed a couple of months with a hamstring. It's one of the great tries earlier this year to snatch victory against the Warriors at this venue. Attacking the same way as they do in this first half. Kennedy takes it safely.
It's important that Cronulla don't turn the ball over for a while. Just get through some sets and feel the ball in their hands, feel themselves making meters and chasing kicks. And then that last try will be a memory. It'll be gone. Build their own confidence now.
And the back five going to work, and Hero was nearly away. Tripped up by Meany in the end. Hughes involved in back-to-back tackles. 0-3 in finals under Craig Fitzgibbon. And now Talakai with hands onto Katoa. Slick movement by the Sharks, and now McInnes right up the middle again.
Nice footy, that.
Plenty going on the play the ball, but it's play on. Off the instep from Trindle. And Mulatalo has that for soccer skills from Ronaldo.
They move the ball as good as anyone, the Cronulla Sharks. With Trindle and Hines in the halves, they like to get their hands on the football. They move from the left-hand side to the right and then back to the left. Everyone gets a touch. Freddie?
Well, that pass from Nico to McInnes, that's the first sign where I've seen them relaxed. He just got the ball under pressure, backed his instinct, moved it on straight away. It's been a nervous start from the Sharks.
Law goes to Coates, running out of room on a slippery deck and gets away from that sideline. Howarth feeds it back to Munster. And the Chasers trying to hunt it down, but the breeze took it to the chest of Mulatalo. Hero's seen plenty of it, both he and Ramian. The top two metre eaters throughout the season for Cronulla, and Ramian was the out yesterday, being in a moon boot during the week. Misses with that ankle. That's why Talakai is playing right centre. Up on that news, and here's Oregon Korfusi. Second year as a Shark. Great offload for Rudolph to go to Hines, and now Nickera, Talakai, and Howarth contained the ball. Cronulla settling in here, and now they get a set restart. Signalled by referee Jared Sutton in game number 395 for him. 39th final. Korfusi again. Space on that left-hand side, but they come back to the right for Rudolph. He couldn't put him down. Hines, Talakai, and Katoa will score. It's a great rebound from Cronulla.
Well, he showed his power here, Sifa Talakai, and off the back of that, he used his skill. Katoa picks up the points. It was a beautiful pass from Nico Hines. They go down the short side. Harvey Norman replay. It's just a numbers game. And Sifa Talakai, he took the bump. Beautiful offload to Katoa. And the Sharks, well, Gus, they held the football and they got back in the contest.
Yeah, and that'll do them a lot of good, a lot of confidence. See for Talakai, you know, when he plays centre, I know they've used him as a back rower and a bit of an interchange. When he plays centre, he has more try assists than any centre in the game. He's really good with his catch and pass, and he can also create a chance just like he did there, Bradley Fittler.
Well, Jack Howe's done a pretty good job actually containing it. The couple of times he's got the ball, he's been with a little bit of space, and he's got great footwork for a small, robust type of bloke. Well, Sifa earned the 6 to go on the last tackle. Then he earns the try assist and getting the ball to Katoa. It's been a big start from their right edge, considering they had such a nervous start as a team.
Yeah, the reputation of Britton Nicoda as well just got Jack Howarth interested. He's a beautiful line runner, Nicoda. Creates opportunities for his outside men by the timing and the intent of his carries. And Jack Howarth just turned in slightly on Nicoda, and that created the space for Talakai. And important they got on the scoreboard early. Nico Hines has got one from the sideline.
into the breeze, of course. 6 out of 7 last week. He didn't kick the week before in his comeback game.
He should be going from right to left.
Tries to bend it in and waved away.
Come off.
Conversion unsuccessful. Scores a strong 6 shots for 26 minutes.
Tightens the ball game back to a 2-point contest. Another funky looking kickoff from Pappenhausen, but not the result that he got with the first one.
He kicked off to the other side this time. He's changing things up.
Well, tickets to the 2024 NRL and NRLW Telstra Premiership Grand Finals are on sale now. Be there to witness the impossible happen at Accor Stadium on Sunday, October 6. Get your tickets now at nrl.com/tickets. Each one of these teams will be through to a grand final qualifier. And the benefit of winning today is you avoid Penrith until at least grand final day, after they booked their spot so impressively last night against the Roosters in a home prelim. Again, difficult. Melbourne don't want a bar of it, and it's knocked forward by Cronulla. And Coates tidies up. Xavier's away. And Pappenhausen was looming. That's an important ankle tap. And then finished by Katoa.
Yeah, I'm not sure he knew that Pappenhausen was looming up, but he was coming quickly. Just got ankle tap from behind.
Big Nelson. Look at this field position and knocked backwards, I think, by Grant. That's the call. Munster, so elusive, but ran into the shoulder of Nickera, who made that one count. Liero again, throwing dummies inside the Westpac red zone they go. Munster calling the shots. Goes early to Pappenhausen. And Nickera flew out of the line, and it got awkward for Rudolph, who's caught him high. Do you take the 2 here?
No, I think 2 points in front. I think they'll go for the try. Pappenhausen evaded Britton Nickera coming out of the line, and Toby Rudolph just slips up a little bit high. They're going to go for more points than 2.
Yeah, Harry Grant wasn't sure. The captain, he pointed to the bench. So what do you want to do? And eventually the call came down to keep on rolling. And Rudolph on report for the high shot. Nasa for Solomona. Depth on the right-hand side. The King goes for the battering ram first up. Midway through the count, they still want it right, and they'll get it this time. Hughes quickly to Katoa. Oh, the big fend. And Trindle did enough in company with Iro. Hughes and Munster, the halves combined. Cam's already got 1 try. Hughes sees something, but so too did Katoa. Great positioning, and he's having a terrific game on the wing.
Yeah, good defence there from the Sharks. They had him covered everywhere and actually forced the rush kick there. It was easily diffused by Katoa. They've settled into the contest okay.
Complaints by Cronulla. Katoa flew out of the line again, stuck that tackle on Kale Iro. With his fair share of run meters already, the left centre for Cronulla, who's nailed down that position so far this year. It used to be Talakai's, but it's become Iro's, who plays his 22nd game today and first final. Difficult to get any penetration in those kicks going left to right today.
Yeah, that helps Melbourne with the field position battle in this first half, but you'd imagine that's going to swing in the second half. That win's going to still be there for the Sharks at their back in half two.
And not many players have more 40-20s this year than Nicho Hynes. He's kicked 3 of them, so he'll fancy that in the second half. Could be a game changer. McDonald has just come on. And the number 17 jumper ready to get involved here. The man they call Chin. He's used as a decoy though. Pass hits the deck. Goes to Warbrick. And Mulatalo is backing off. How hard is he to contain? Will Warbrick eventually taken down, 25 out. Hughes to hang it up. Coates is there. Was he blocked and escorted by Hynes, I wonder? Melbourne complain. They're up in arms, but it's play on.
Everyone's talked about the Sharks' recent record, number of years since they won a finals game. I suppose the fear was to come down here today, and if something went wrong early, then maybe that come back to haunt them. They get those bad feelings, but it couldn't have started worse. They've managed to get themselves back into the contest really well. Bradley Fittler.
Watching last night's game, we saw a real masterclass of kicking from Nathan Cleary. I've got to say, both of the halves haven't really nailed the conditions at the moment.
And they're on the back foot on this set. Trindle had to go to Hynes, who keeps it low and punchy this time. Tidied up in the same part of the ground again by Coates. He's looking really dangerous, is Xavier. 29 tries in 25 games at this venue for the X-Man. Here's McDonald. His first final as well, 44 games into his NRL career. Munster didn't go to Pappenhausen. Sharks winning those post-contact meters so far. Pappenhausen kicks. What about that? A juggled effort by Hynes.
Yeah, Will Kennedy, the Sharks fullback, was in the defensive line, and Pappenhausen saw that. And go over the top. There's Nicho Hynes, who just got a bit of the foot blue. And Katoa was back there also. They've done well here, the Sharks. They made this a grinding affair, which I'm sure both of these teams would have been expecting.
If things go right for Nicho Hynes, his 100th game in the NRL could be a grand final. That's what Craig Fitzgibbon has spoken about with these Sharks. So many players yet to play 100 games. So if they can keep everyone together, what might happen over the next few years? Great kick chase that time. Nickera swiping the legs from underneath Pappenhausen. Similar from Rudolph, chopping down Howarth.
There's not a cloud in the sky, you know. It's been freezing and hail and rain here all morning. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Very good on umbrella duty in the pre-game as well. It was coming down sideways about 45 minutes ago.
With the sunblock out.
That's my new career, Danica's umbrella holder.
Up they go, and that's a confidence booster for Kennedy. Nowhere for Iro to go that time. He gets an ear massage as well. Over the top from the Iro. I reckon if Jared Sutton had seen that, he might have played a penalty. He doesn't like that kind of nonsense. Haley. About his ability to back up week after week. 101st consecutive game for Cronulla's number 9, who found Trindle. And Pappenhausen. Oh, awkward fall for Pappy. You don't like seeing that. And they got away with letting it bounce.
He's lucky it didn't hit him and run back to the Sharks. They had a good solid war going down there to tackle him. He could have fallen under that and hit him on the leg and gone straight back to them. He's moving okay, Pappenhausen. Think back to week 1 of the finals last year.
That horror injury against the Broncos. To another stint coming back. 15-3 record for the Storm when Pappenhausen has been in the team this year. Plenty of room for Hughes. Grabs a few more metres and kicks down towards Kennedy. No pressure this time, able to stay grounded.
He was able to run a long way there without any pressure before kicking the ball. He had his choice of 2 or 3 options. I think if you keep giving Jerome Hughes plenty of choice, you'll pay the penalty.
Yeah, we're starting to get into that period of the game. There's plenty of fatigue in the game. Yeah, they're all bunched around the football at the moment, the Sharks, but the team that can find the energy to get into some shape, use the football, find that courage to go after your game. There'll be opportunities out there with the fatigue.
Well, it's 7.5 minutes since the last stoppage. And you can see a couple of players here just starting to struggle and push themselves to keep up with everyone else.
Trindle goes through the hands, and Iro didn't go to Mulatalo, kept it alive somehow. Wilton doesn't have his kicking licence. He found a man who does, but they get to Hines.
Yep. Just put that indecision down to fatigue. And Melbourne found the energy to put the pressure on and come up with the big play.
Yeah, just have a look at Cameron Munster pounce. He knew one person and one person only had the ability to kick the football, and that was Nicho Hines. He pounced on him.
Jerome Hughes spoke about it this week, what Craig Bellamy said. Intensity has to go up, and the referee might put the whistle away as well, leading to these fatigue moments. Pappenhausen for Howarth. Gets rid of Talakai, the young man.
Been dangerous, Jack Howarth.
Just 21 years of age. Pass a little behind Grant. Finds Hughes in stride. Katoa. Quick ball for Meany. Oh, the flick pass will work. And Warbrick scores. Sensational from the Storm.
Yeah, Eli Katoa. The back rowers that can pass the football. Eli Katoa is certainly one of them. He's had a great season on that right edge. And then the flick pass by Nick Meany. That was a pearler also. It was Eli Katoa that created the overlap. Harvey Norman replay. Melbourne Storm come from the left-hand side of the field all the way to the right, get through their key position players, and the ball ends up with Eli Katoa. You see Nick Meany just drifting around the right-hand side of him. Great combination, these two, Meany and Katoa, and then the flick pass.
Well, what was significant there, they've gone from the left side of the field to right across to the right side of the field. But it was 6 to 9 to 7. 3 beautifully timed passes. Nice pass out of dummy half to the 6. Long pass to the 9. Long pass to the 7. So your playmakers shifting the ball coast to coast from one sideline to the other. And that gave the outside backs the opportunity to strip them on the far side. There's your 6. There's your 9. There's your 7. And all of a sudden they've got space on the outside. Playmakers playing together. Love it. Melbourne Storm do it better than anyone.
Yeah, and the turnover came from the rush from Cameron Munster. He saw the opportunity to pounce on Nicho Hines. Cronulla Sharks decided to run the football and come unstuck.
And that pass from Meany's gone backwards out of the hand and maybe drifts forward, which is all okay. As it states in the rule book, for those fans watching in Melbourne, maybe not aware of the forward pass rule. Well adjudicated on there, and Nick Meany, who provided a superb try assist, tries to convert here. It's hooking, but it's home.
Brayden, watch your escort run, mate.
The race to be leading try scorer for Melbourne this season was right in the balance until last week when Warbrick edged everyone else out with a hat-trick to get to 13. He's up to 14 tries for the campaign now. That was a handy kick from Meany there, Freddie.
And if you can assist,
yeah, it sure was. Just want to also have a look at
the distance.
The pass of the ball. Now, Nick Mooney, he made his debut playing for the Knights. He would have watched a great right centre in Matt Gidley. The beauty of the technique was you put it into one arm, and what it does, that's a trigger for the winger, the defensive winger, to come jamming in on you. But then what he did, just flicks it out of the right arm and finds his winger, Will Warbrick. It's a great technique. Matt Gidley, one of the great right centres, the Gidley flick.
Knights in action tonight on 9, of course, live and free against the Cowboys up in Townsville in an elimination final. Winner of that game faces the loser of this one next week in the semis. Hughes kicks out towards the wing of Katoa this time. The fullback has it, and Kennedy immediately wrapped up.
Cameron Munster, you're in front.
Billy Slater introduced me to Xavier Coates. They're on the field there today. He is a big boy.
Big athletic outside backs. They're all big these days.
Cronulla make another monumental error. Nico Hines nowhere near finding touch.
He shanked it. He shanked it.
Pappenhausen controlled it about 8 metres in from touch.
That's like putting it into the pro shop on the first tee.
Or into the car park. Smash a windscreen. And Nico Hines was immediately on his haunches. Shattered by that moment, has to regroup here, and complaints about the tackle off the ball. Munster's in a crumpled heap. Jared Sutton says to the bunker, "What have you got?" And the penalty is blown.
Well, he was supporting Harry Grant, who got out of dummy half with a quick play the ball.
Sit here, Harry. Sit there, Harry.
See Harry Grant get out here, and there's Munster. It was Britton Nicola.
Yeah, well, in all fairness to Nicola, I thought he passed it too.
So they're going to take the shot at goal here. So Cronulla should have been up the other end with a touch finder off the back of a penalty, but instead Melbourne were able to contain this kick from Hines and then got their own penalty right in front of the sticks here, trying to extend the lead from 8 to 10. And Nick Meaney should have no problem with that. It's 14-4. Freddie?
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster, the kick from Nico. I think what it does do, it just gets all those Sharkies fans questioning where they are at the moment, the actual Sharks. But I've got to say, Harry Grant, you can't allow the players to ref the game. If he wants to get up and hold the ball, play the ball, mate. I wouldn't have given him a penalty.
Just keep going. If we need to keep playing, just keep going.
Every touch from Nico Hines, every kick, every pass is under such scrutiny. And that touch finder, attempted touch finder,
Time your run, boys.
is a shocker.
Stay behind it. Cameron.
Could be a lot further behind the mistakes that they've made. They're still within 10 points here, and remember they'll have the breeze at their backs in the second half, the Sharks.
Well, there's still a ways to go for half-time yet. We'll get through another 9 minutes.
Oh, Talakai! Big hit in the final on Sean Bloor.
That was a monster hit. Look at that. Whack.
The timing of Talakai, outstanding. Dropped on the 10-metre line by Jerome Hughes. And Meaney led the chase. important phase of this final, as Phil Gould just identified before half-time. The Sharks don't want to give up much more of a lead here to the Melbourne Storm.
Just watching this Melbourne Storm team, like, I don't get to see them live all that often, but you can see why they win so many games. No one has a play off. Every player moves on every play. Attack or defence, everyone is moving on every play. No one has a rest.
He's a hard taskmaster, Craig Bellamy, who made it 400 wins as an NRL coach last week. Nicola staying down here. Is there a suspicion of a leg drop, or a hip drop rather? Just able to play it successfully. Hines with hang time, and this time Pappenhausen able to get set underneath it. Big Tommy Hazelton is on, and he took a tumble well off the footy there with his knee heavily strapped. He wasn't named in the team on Tuesday. Came in the reshuffle after Ramian was ruled out yesterday. A big bloke from Goulburn. He's got some defence to do immediately as the Storm get a roll on here. Christian Welch off the Storm bench. Out of that 2020 grand final win was Christian. Warbrick trying to run through traffic here. Kennedy came down with it.
Yeah, just got to hang in there, the Sharks, right now. Just under 7 minutes to go in this first half. They will get the breeze in the second half. 10 points, that's achievable. Any more might be a little bit difficult. The Storm are coming, but just got to really fight their way through this next 6.5 minutes, the Sharks.
They've got to fight their way through the next couple of tackles. I'm wondering where the Storm will get the ball back here. What's this? Tackle 4, and they're 12 metres out from their line. Storm are just coming in for the kill here.
Royce Hunt looks to provide those metres, gets them back to the 20, so big pressure on the kick. It'll come from Trindle with it. No, he'll go through the hands. They chance their arm. Mulatalo, he will kick with the outside of the boot.
That was brave play.
Pappenhausen, how cool was that to tap it backwards and use Coates? And Hazelton got to him.
That was brave play by the Sharks. Only 12 metres out from their line on the last play. And spread the ball to Mulatalo to get a kick away. That could have gone really badly, but they took their chance.
Look at the speed of Warbrick. Running on it with purpose.
He's so improved.
Munster kicking, space in behind, and Katoa, that's a very kind bounce for the winger who's seen plenty come his way.
Well, if he looked inside Cameron Munster, he had an unmarked Ryan Pappenhausen right up the middle. There's the Westpac red zone. Melbourne Storm dominating 10-4. Play the balls inside 20.
Yeah, he missed a chance there, Munster. You're right. Pappenhausen scores. There was no one back there. He just turns and looks inside. Pappenhausen is gone.
Five minutes before the break, we have seen Pappenhausen chase down those kicks before, of course. Cam McInnes, that's a trademark look. Trindle, the halves combined on the right-hand side this time, and Talakai through Howarth, then stripped out by Pappenhausen. Tidied up by Pappy.
Well, does a great job, Ryan Pappenhausen. And firstly, he puts himself in a really good position. He anticipated the line break from Talakai. There was an opportunity to go down a short side for the Sharks. Ryan Pappenhausen, he was right up in the defensive line.
A lot of fullbacks, Billy, wouldn't have even been there, would they? They'd have been back deep or back in the middle of the field. He found a way to get there.
Yeah, a few years ago, he mightn't have been there either. That's experience, that's development of your positional play. The good ones are there.
Well, that's what I talk about. They don't have a play off, do they? They all go to the game. Everyone goes to the game on every play. Wherever the ball is, they're heading towards it.
Grant trying to milk one.
He wants to be referee, Harry.
Freddie won't like that.
Another fatigue situation here. Look at the time since the last stoppage. More than 5 minutes has elapsed. Grant v. Jared Sutton right now. Play on again. Coates! Up he goes! And could not come down with it this time in his corner.
And we had Katoa standing still.
Have no
He had the
try.
full run of it.
Just confirm that Xavier Coates knocks it on first. before we get to a grounding.
I like that one again, Xavier Coates. Look at that. Sione Katoa. He's flat-footed.
Cleared Melbourne's kick chasers onside.
Coates has got all the momentum.
Xavier Coates gets the ball first and knocks it on. We have a decision.
Chris Butler in the bunker.
Well, they're hanging in there, the Sharks. And 3.5 minutes to half-time now. And still 10 points the difference. They'll get the ball back here, get to the end of their set.
Will the wind stay there, Billy? Or in Melbourne do you turn it around at half-time?
I haven't got that much pull. No, I think they'll still get the wind at their back, Cronulla, in the second half. And they can play field position. It's been all Melbourne, all played down this end of the field. They're a dangerous footy team, the Sharks. Nico Hines, if he finds some form in the second half, good field position.
That's a worrying sign. Sione Katoa struggling with a leg issue, perhaps in back play, yeah. Still being attended to. Hope he can run that one off. There goes Tommy. Entitled to a quick play. The ball, gee, that was close with Hughes going in. On Hazelton, referee let it roll. This is a floater. And Pappenhausen got there, so did Nickera.
Yeah, Katoa can hardly run on the wing.
They were headed that way, but Talakai and Hines ensured Katoa didn't need to make a tackle.
Yeah, Dan Atkinson, he's getting up and warming up on the sideline. And he's played, I think he played a game on the wing this season for the Sharks. More a half, can play fullback.
Hughes, what about that for a cut-out ball? Hit Warbrick on the chest. This time it's Pappenhausen down after running into traffic, but they play on this time. Crossfield kick to Katoa. Here's a test, and immediately surrenders a metre out from that goal line.
He's in a lot of trouble. I don't think he's playing for time. I think he knew he couldn't run anywhere with that.
And plenty thought it might have been Atkinson in that right centre role to start ahead of Talakai after Ramian was ruled out, but they went with the experience of Sefa Talakai.
Sharks really want this hooter to go. They've had a tough first 40 minutes. It's got to hold their hands up for another minute or so. Minute 20 left.
Well, one more set, Gus.
Yeah,
they keep their gloves up for one more set.
Oh, Hunt.
Oh,
that's
bonus.
better than that.
Bonus.
They'll get the last set now.
Bonus.
That's winning the lottery.
Yep.
Yep, play on.
And they're going to kick it out. They're going to take a tap and run. Gee whiz, if they can score a try here, that would be a double bonus. That'd be jackpot. Mega jackpot.
Warbrick flew off the wing and got to Iro. He needed to because Mulatalo was left unmarked. Royce Hunt earned that penalty late in the count. He's been doing his 9-dimensional breathing on match eve throughout this season. It's led to career best form. They target that side of Meaney and Warbrick defensively once more, but there's no way through, and they combine for a sensational try at the other end, of course, those two. Hazelton sets them up.
20 seconds. They've got a chance.
Hines pulling the strings. Trindle, how's that for a step? And the try assist. Oh, big moment in this final as Nickera goes over untouched.
That's the way you do it. They were gone. They're at their own end of the field. They were gone. They got a penalty. And you could just feel that footy god said, you've worked hard enough. I'm going to reward you with one right on the stroke of half-time. And that is a huge bonus to the visitors, the Sharks. Lovely play. Harvey Norman replay. Floating across field. Little jink, a little dummy, a lovely little flick pass back on the inside. And Britton Nickera, who's been terrific this season, runs around, and that will put oxygen in the lungs of the Sharks.
Well, he can play, this young man. Braden Trindle, watch that little flick pass. That's a beauty. Britton Nickera Love's coming back on the inside. Couple of tired forwards for the Melbourne Storm. Didn't tie in. And the Sharks, they strike. And they weren't supposed to.
Old tricky Trindle, hey?
Oh, he can play. They hung in there, and then they found some points on the stroke of half-time.
That's brave. That really is fearless. They just didn't play out the clock. They took a quick tap, stretched down the left, brought it back to the right, come up with a big play. What a 4-point ball game.
A remarkable end to the first half. No wonder they're up in that bay on the far side. 14 points to 10 at half-time. Melbourne in front. History between these two clubs. Cronulla have only won here 3 times. Melbourne have won 12 head-to-head at this venue.
Yeah, one of those times was earlier this year, though, when the Sharks came down. No Nico Hines. They got the chocolates. Many teams got the points against the Melbourne Storm this year.
Big second half coming up. Only the Dragons, the other team to win here. So those 2 local rivals from Sydney came to Melbourne and left with 2 points this year. Apart from that, the Storm were perfect at home. And across the board, averaging 29 points per game. That's the second best in club history throughout a season. Moving it on to Blore. He was able to get away from Talakai that time, who rocked him in the first half with one of the hits of the year. Safe stuff from Melbourne first up. And the call is a penalty. It was the last coming up. Very similar to what happened at the back end of that first half in Cronulla's favour. Jack Williams stripping it away.
Well, the wind is strong. That kick's gone nowhere. Got on the breeze and went sideways.
Well, that poor discipline hurt the Sharks. As McDonald, he gets upended by Wilton. Right in and under. Awkward looking play the ball. Welch trying to step around Hazelton. Achieved that, but Brayley stuck to his task. Down low. Set restart early in the count. A slow play the ball. So inside the Westpac red zone they go. Early in the count. Munster, who started it all today, with a try in the opening couple of minutes. Blore trying to go right over the top of them, but Kennedy put his body on the line. Big test here for Cronulla. And from dummy half, right under the Melbourne Storm fans think he scored. Jared Sutton not so sure.
Just have a look, loose side of the ball. Want to see if it makes the ground when he first bounces over before they get under it or not.
Well, he first passed the first test, Will Kennedy. That was the assignment of Blore. And Harry Grant, he doubled up on him. Oh, I think the ball comes free, does it?
On a boot and then on a hand, somehow.
Harry Grant initially grounds the ball on the Sharks' boot. Just need to see if he maintains possession.
Yeah, it's Britton Nicola. He gets his boot in the road. And I don't think the ball comes free. I don't think it's a try.
You think that'll constitute a knock on? Chris Butler, the man in the bunker, is making the call.
Harry Grant maintains possession and is held up. We have a decision.
Well, it comes free of the fingers, but he grips it between his wrist and his body.
You got to play tackle 4. Waiting. 1 foot, tackle 4.
There was a nice tackle by Kennedy on Blore.
Time on. Hold, go 4.
Munster. So he's out of play on the last here. Up to Hughes to take over. Katoa trying to bump his way through. And Cronulla do stand up defensively to that early examination.
Yeah, no kick on tackle 5. They tried for a little out ball, in ball there, but Cronulla defence were up quickly. Tora took a little time to catch it and get the ball to his hands. In the end, ran the ball So they survived a good test there, the Sharks.
Danica, you have some injury news.
Yes, just an update, and we're going to be monitoring this situation. Sione Katoa came off just before half-time, maybe a minute or so early, and he seemed to be in quite a lot of pain. It's a hip pointer injury that he sustained during the half-time break. He did get pain relief to the area, which has said that has helped a lot. So we're just going to be keeping an eye on him. But yeah, a hip pointer injury for Sione Katoa.
Yeah, they can be really painful. Just right on top of the hip, and you cop a bump.
Hines kicking down Breeze. Pappenhausen stationed inside his own 20, goes quickly to Warbrick. There's a look at where he sustained that hip pointer issue. Sione Katoa bravely under that high ball with Coates coming the other way with his cape on.
Is that the one, Billy, where the muscle above your hip bone jams into your hip bone there?
That's the one.
Mistake from Howarth here.
Everybody up. Shot clock
Is that the first incomplete set for
in the middle,
Melbourne?
boys.
Yeah, this is where the Sharks can really set up camp and make the Melbourne Storm play out of their own end for the next best part of 40 minutes. And Jack Howarth coming up with an error.
Well, there's just been a few things happen today that sort of give you the thought we could see an upset. There's just enough happening here for the Sharks to gain confidence and really start to go after this.
Trindle was so creative for that try right on the bell. A little flick pass to Nikora. In time he went safely to Kyle Iro. Wilton's done some important things today defensively. Hines. And Royce Hunt goes right up the middle. Still going Roycey. Melbourne want reinforcements on their left-hand side. And the mistake in the play, the ball, is it? No, we're just going to do it again, I think.
Go forward and don't push at the marker. Tackle 3. Tackle 3.
More advice from Harry Grant to Jared Sutton wanting a penalty. Now they'll go right, but Melbourne have the numbers. So Nikora back on an angle. Hines trying to organise a dynamic attack on the left-hand side now. Goes for the short ball. And there's no way through there. Where do they go on the last? Both halves just behind Brayley. Trindle gets it. Hines, they've created it, have they? No, great tackle. Nick Meaney takes down the playmaker.
Well, they worked together, the Melbourne Storm. There was a chance there running the football on the last tackle. Nico Hines and Trindle down the left-hand side of the field. And it was Meaney and Warbrick working together as well.
Toa coming from a long way back, and Hazelton met him front on. Doesn't veer too much from this centre corridor, does he, Trent Liero? Munster taken down. One-on-one tackles being made by both teams at important moments here. Hunt got to Munster. So from inside his own 40, Hughes can only gain about 25 metres or so, and Mulatalo hits the ground running. Almost the same blade of grass where he ignited that match-sealing try in round 10, set up Talakai. You may remember, after a short kickoff went wrong for Melbourne. The race that stops the nation. The Melbourne Cup has a new home here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. You can join us for every day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. Or if you'd like to be there trackside at Flemington, get your tickets by heading to the website on the screen. That's the call there. Well, Melbourne are offside, so they'll just let it all flow. And now Trindle for Wilson. If it went out the back, they might have had the numbers there, Cronulla. Trindle on kicking duty. Hines among the chasers. Nico's a chance here. And knocked it on.
Gee whiz, Melbourne just stood back and let that happen.
Hand over here.
Nico could have caught that on the fly.
Wait.
Melbourne Storm just looked at it.
Push up. Hold. Okay.
Not for the first time today, Billy.
Mind you, it's three forwards that looked at it.
Oh, someone's got to catch it.
No, well, that's not my job.
Treatment for Eli Katoa right now. With his team in possession, he's right to rejoin. What a weapon to bring off the bench right now. Tui Kamikamica about to get into the ball game. The Fijian enforcer replaces Christian Welch. Oh, somehow Jerome Hughes out the other side, still going. And busted another tackle. Important that Wilton cut him down. Meany now creating for Pappenhausen. Oh, Katoa running out of room here. Couldn't get it to Warbrick. And they're centimetres away. Warbrick from dummy half. Taken down as Cronulla get to them again on the last.
Yeah, that all started with Jerome Hughes running the football. Deceptively strong when he runs the football as well. Strong through the hips, hard to put down. Spinning and breaking tackles.
It's a good game now. I think everyone's over their nerves and realise we've got a real contest here.
Remember, whoever loses this game has to go through Penrith if they want to be there on grand final day. Trindle from inside his own 30 tries to bend it. He turns Pappenhausen around and the bounce is kind for Cronulla.
That's the way. Kick early, win without the ball.
Pappenhausen collared by Nickera right around the head. Ball comes loose and now the whistle comes. It's a penalty.
He's on the ground. He's in contact with him, then he strips it. Just it's clear contact too, Bucky.
He's right under the touchy's nose. Michael Wise, who may have helped out Jared Sutton here. So you see what Katoa does. Strips it out. Tackle made. It's the right call. Freddie?
Yeah, just on the back of that Braden Trindle kick. It's a good thing you can't see the win because all the footy's played down the same den as it was. Melbourne are doing a miraculous job of kicking the ball into the breeze while Cronulla, before that Braden Trindle kick, just hadn't utilised the wind at all.
As you saw, Nickera placed on report for that high tackle on Pappenhausen that wasn't going to be a penalty. The bunker thought it should have been.
Well, they thought he had him by the hair, but he didn't. He let it go.
And a clip behind the ear, and now we've got another take two on a play the ball.
Yeah, that was a poor penalty by Katoa as well. And the Sharks had the Melbourne Storm right where they wanted them in the corner. It would have been hard to get out of there. Just trying to push the limits a little bit too much.
It's great tactic, though. You've got to do more of that.
The early kick?
Yeah, early kick.
Yeah.
Kick early, kick long, kick often. And you think you've kicked too much, kick it again.
Munster. Well, it breaks down, but he's able to tidy up. And touched by the Sharks in flight, so another set restart. They've had a whale of possession here since half-time.
Got a bit lucky there, Melbourne. I thought that come off Pappenhausen.
Kamikamica. He's won his last 11 games that he's played in. The big Fijian. Hughes, favourite for the Dally M this year. Jerome. Grant goes to King. Oh, Harry Grant! The big front rower has created the try. Josh King with a tremendous offload. Made it oh so easy for Harry Grant in game number 99.
Yeah, the old wraparound. This would have happened a fair bit in your day, Gus. The wraparound. Hit the big man short. Get the little man to wrap around. Here it is, Harvey Norman replay. Grant again getting out of dummy half. Josh King, nice little flick pass. And Harry Grant's under the post.
Now, this was a bit of an unwritten rule in the old days. If I passed you the ball and ran at you, it means I wanted it back, and you just keep coming around. It was never really a set play. It was just sort of a bit of an instinct. And if I kept coming, there was the opportunity to flick it around to you and you'd keep coming. And Sharks got caught short there. That's really good skill from Josh King. That's brave too. You know, fearlessness. That's what wins big games. Plays like that.
So Nick Meaney right in front to restore that 10-point buffer. Going through the routine and makes it 20 points to 10. Game for Melbourne will be Harry Grant's 100th. He's got a 2-4 record in finals, hasn't played in a grand final yet. He was a West Tiger in 2020 when they won the comp. And he's got them on target for a prelim after that try. Still work to do though. 10-point margin. Kamitha off the back fence. Melbourne crowd getting right behind him, and somehow he keeps his feet through it all. Toa, who's been in the wars at times. Facial wound attended to. What about the try assist by King on that run-around play? Targeted Blake Brayley defensively and knew he had the capacity to then offload. With Grant backing up. Munster nearly. Tripped up by Korfusi. Kennedy looks to his winger, who wants it. Indecision, and eventually the fullback took responsibility.
That's a really good set by the Melbourne Storm. And playing into the breeze. The one thing to counter the breeze is play fast and direct over the advantage line. That's what Melbourne did in that set.
Just over 25 minutes to go in the 80. Can Cronulla respond again? Hazelton. Lofty work from Brayley from dummy half. Open up a bit of space for Tommy. And now Trindle. Look at that distance in the kick all the way down inside the 10. Hackenhausen has been keen to use Warbrick when available, and that's why he was nearly through and away again, the Kiwi. With that background in rugby sevens, silver medalist at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Will Warbrick.
Look at Munster back there on tackle 2 from a long kick like that, hitting it up. That's leadership.
Arrow to King, a couple of middle forwards combined. 24th appearance of the year for Josh King. Oh, Grant, so creative again. Couldn't link with Munster, though. Wilson sorted that by getting in the passing lane. Hughes tries to place it. Referee in the road to the fullback, but Kennedy got past that roadblock and now passes to Mulatalo. Brilliant by the number 1. If he'd dropped it there after getting around the referee, it would have been on him, Billy.
On the referee?
Or who? The player. What happens in that situation?
Yourself,
play on.
Well, the referee can deem as to whether or not he's affected the play. He's the only one who can. I don't even know what the referee was doing back there.
From inside the 40, he's got the angle here. Warbrick tracking back. And a little too deep to get the 40-20, but look where Warbrick is inside his own in goal. Cronulla trying to hunt him down. Trindle's kicking game a factor here.
He's got to keep trusting that. They've got to keep doing that. Just trust it.
Huge crowd in Melbourne, gripped by this finals encounter. I know it's not game over yet. Hughes keeps on throwing those dummies, but they're not buying them. Munster on kicking duty this time. Katoa leading the chase, and Kennedy has improved as this game has gone on. Player of the Year for the Sharks in 2023, Will Kennedy. Katoa moving okay after that pain relief at half-time.
Just over 20 minutes to go, 10 points down. We learn whether or not the Sharks have learned anything over the last couple of years with their finals encounters. It's been well documented they haven't won in finals for a while. Is that going to be good experience or bad experience for them?
Yeah, the one finals win in their last 9 attempts since that 2016 grand final was against the Panthers. 21 points to 20.
Robbed us.
In 2018.
Fluke.
Field goal from Chad Townsend. What a beautiful spiral torpedo that was by Cronulla. Preying on an error here from the Storm, but they're so disciplined under Craig Bellamy, his Melbourne side. That Howarth mistake in this half was a rarity. Freddie?
The one thing you do notice is Melbourne are winning the physical battle, and therefore you see more Sharks players on the ground after the tackle than you do Melbourne players. The game's just a little bit easier for Melbourne at the moment than it is the Sharks.
A lot made of that Cronulla finals record, but Melbourne have lost 4 of their past 5 finals as well. Katoa again leading the chase. Up he goes. What a contest. Came down with it. King trying to create again.
Oh, no.
Gets another set. It's knocked on by Williams.
Can you believe that?
First one, Cronulla, he knocks the pass down.
Can you believe that?
No, knock on Cronulla first.
Can you believe that? You just can't play at the ball like that on tackle.
Talakai even apologised there to Munster for the way he went about that tackle. Hopefully no damage done.
Well, this is a big set here for both sides.
Look at the skill set of Eli Katoa. 90 games into his NRL career, the former Warrior. Become a star on the right edge for Melbourne. King moved off the mark.
Three. Go, 3.
Liero pops it out the back to Grant, where he did the damage earlier. Early pass to Hughes, now Pappenhausen. Happy to take the tackle. Still 2 more plays. Hughes again, late pass, great handling by the big man. Kamitha held on. Space on the left, thinks Munster. Oh, great fullback work again by Kennedy. Ball looked nailed on there for a moment.
Yeah, good grab. It was a good kick, but Kennedy read it. Come up with a good grab. This is not going to be easy if they're thinking short line drop out with the big breeze behind them. This won't be an easy kick at all. Of course, he's not going to get penalised for it, Brad Fittler.
Just watching Harry Grant's out of dummy half, he's passing. He gives his ball players so much time. The ball gets there in the right spot so quickly every time.
Yeah, I just figured that. They went long from that line drop out. He's been good, Josh King.
Third year with the Storm after 6 seasons in Newcastle.
Just starting to look a little raggedy here, the Sharks. They've got to hold on. Storm coming.
Hughes skips around. Pappenhausen passing behind Warbrick. What kind of tackle was that by Mulatalo on Pappenhausen? All above board.
I don't know why they surrendered like that. No one was obstructed.
Here he goes again. He's got that work rate that so impressed the Storm when he turned up. Repeat efforts from Josh King. Again, almost a hospital pass by Kamikamica, but he holds on in contact. Quick play the ball as well. Hughes kicking for Warbrick. There's space. Oh, it's on points. Jerome Hughes. That is magical.
Well, he comes back to run the football, Jerome Hughes. And the defensive line comes up. You just see Ronaldo Mulatalo. And he comes up looking to defend the shape. Ryan Pappenhausen was on his right. Harvey Norman replay, looking to run the football. Mulatalo comes up and just changes his decision. Will Warbrick, they've got a great combination, Hughes and Warbrick. Pinpoint kick right to the space. He does well, Warbrick, to get the ball down.
That's great vision, great vision. But even to kick it into the breeze and have it hold up a metre inside the dead ball line, like to do all that under the pressure of the situation. Last play, you look up, you've got a couple of options, and then out of the corner of your eye, you see Mulatalo, you see Warbrick, and you say, that's my play. And then you've still got to execute it into the breeze. That's brilliant from Hughes.
And that is try assist number 26 this year for Jerome Hughes. To go with 9 tries, he's averaging 117 run metres per game. Only Ben Hunt had more try assists this season than him.
Now, it's funny about I don't know whether it's in the DNA of the Melbourne Storm or just their confidence level, but when Harry Grant was interviewed coming off at half-time, Sharks had just scored in the last 10 seconds before half-time to bring it back to 14-10. And it was like he was heading off to recess for play lunch or something. Like there was no pressure in his voice whatsoever. Yeah, I think we're on top, and yeah, well, that was a bit unlucky, but, you know, we'll be right.
We'll flush that one, I think he said, or something.
We'll flush that and get on with the second half. And look what they've done. Into the breeze.
And Meany's been kicking beautifully. Former Bulldog, former Knight. It's going to be waved away, though. Another double for Will Warbrick. Oh, it's spectacular. Picture postcard in Melbourne today. Beautiful images from the drone. Live and free on 9. Here he comes again, Tui. Running a bit of an angle this time, hunting Rudolph. As the 2 front rowers go head to head. Here he goes again, King. Looks pretty relaxed, Craig Bellamy. He won't be now. It's a mistake right on cue.
Shot clock on.
Or is it captain's challenge?
Melbourne challenging the ruling of knock on, mate. Tackle 2.
Yeah, they're saying that a Cronulla player had his foot in the play the ball or in the ruck area. I don't think so.
Yeah, whose responsibility is it? Is it the man planting the ball, or is it the marker?
Shark foot enters the ruck of Melbourne Storm there, which is ruck interference. The challenge will be successful.
Gee, it's a hard score.
They've said that his foot's coming back through the ruck, so it's going to be a penalty.
It's a hard score.
That's the ruling, mate. They've said that he's coming through the ruck.
I don't think he intentionally did anything. I think he was just standing up. Storm player just put it down on his foot. Anyway, Pappenhausen takes advantage of a quick 20 metres.
There's not much to be gained by a touch finder going left to right today in Amy Park. Wishart into the ball game. 12 tries this year. 11 starts in the halves for him as well at various times when Hughes and Munster have been down.
Yeah, he's come on in the middle of the field too. He's playing like a ruck forward. Tyron Wishart. I'm sure no dummies would be on the tip sheet of the Sharks for Tyron Wishart.
Very vocal as well since coming on. He's making the most noise out there Wants it again here, Wishart, but Munster's call was more for Grant to go to him. Up they go. Tough take for Katoa. Knocked it on. Another set for Melbourne.
0 coming.
Play on for Howarth, he says. No, we'll go back.
First one, Sharks.
Settle down,
First one,
Jack.
Sharks.
The whistle has
First
been
one,
blown.
Sharks.
I'm not sure the referee early had a clue there.
First one, Sharks, then Cameron gets a hand. Scrum. Yeah, I
It
think
was
Cameron gets a
Katoa
hand
that
as
knocked the
well,
ball
mate.
on, and I think Munster gets a hand to it. And there's the first one. Katoa. And Damien Cameron Munster touches that football.
And the bonus of a centre field scrum after all that for Melbourne to attack. Sharks will do well to hold on here, Gus.
Yeah, you just feel like Melbourne are getting ready to put it to bed. Big set of 6 for both sides, for Sharks particularly.
Depth on the right-hand side. Hughes. He knew Warbrick was out there unmarked, but Cronulla got to him in numbers. Toa, shape for an offload. There's no one there this time. Munster cooking up something on the left, chatting with Pappenhausen. And Wishart takes them on. Now Munster wants it. Grant goes the other way. Oh, Hughes! And knocked on by Cronulla, saved the try. Warbrick would have scored without that intervention from Mulatalo.
Yeah, I think Hughes would have scored if he kept running. I know he was off balance, but there was no one near him. Danger signs here for the Sharks.
Munster slipped as he was trying to make his move. Feels like they've had 70% of the ball in this half, Melbourne. And there's a look at it, not far away from that. Oh, reaching out! Kamikamitha lost the footy.
Over the line, 20.
The Sharks are still alive. 14 points down, 13 to go. Would have gotten there, but for Nickera dragging him back, perhaps. The bench was confident too. He had it in his locker. And he'll be part of the Pacific's biggest sporting event. It's back for 2024. Witness the very best men's and women's players from 7 island nations compete for glory and pride. Get your tickets to the 2024 Pacific Championships at nrl.com/tickets now. And we'll have it all for you live and free on 9 as well. Atkinson is on for Cronulla. A lot of mobile players out there now. Is there space to exploit? Great read defensively there by Munster again. And he fancies his crowd to knock on here. Head clash is what the referee saw. Talakai able to play it. He might be an HIA candidate because it was head into shoulder. Getting expansive here, Cronulla. Kennedy, brilliant. And held on Mulatalo just.
Plenty of purple jerseys there, though.
Milton says, where to next? They're going side to side. Looking for a break in this defensive line. Nickera. Talakai's okay. What a reception from that crowd. Loving the defensive attitude of their team. Hines kick. Enough hang time for Iro, perhaps. But Meaney was safe. Played his fair share of fullback in his time, Nick Meaney. Confident under the high ball. Here is the fullback, Pappenhausen. Trindle trying to reef it out. It became a one-on-one tackle, no joy there. Meaney nearly skipped away. Atkinson got to him, former Melbourne Storm player. Atkinson, just like Nico Hines, went to Cronulla for more opportunity, and hasn't he made the most of that in 2024? The former chippy from the Sunshine Coast. And laid out was Wishart by Wilton. Taken down in the kicking motion. Jared Sutton said it was okay by Rudolph on Munster.
Yeah, you got there just in time, Toby Rudolph.
Remember the round 10 match here, Gus?
I do.
Harry Grant sin bin.
I do, unfortunately.
That's why Melbourne fans are booing. I reckon they got long memories. A look of disbelief on the face of Harry Grant when he was sent to the bin for very minor contact on the kicker. A lot of stars missing there. Hines wasn't available. No Trindle for Cronulla. Melbourne had some stars out as well that day. It's a much different game today. Have to score soon, Cronulla. And Katoa's kick creative. But look at the positioning from Pappenhausen.
Yeah, there was no panic by the Melbourne Storm either. On that left edge of the Melbourne Storm, they all worked together. Munster, Howarth, and Xavier Coates. They all took a player.
This young Howarth, Billy, he's the young forward, isn't he, that they put on a long-term contract? He was a young back row forward.
Centre back row, that's him. And taking a little bit of time. Worked really hard over the last 12 months to get this opportunity in the starting team of the Storm. There's Munster on the inside.
Just tripped up.
Oh, he's a player. He's a big boy.
Hughes.
Plenty of talent.
Scheming again. Katoa. He's come down with it again, Ellie. And Grant has a double. Ellie Katoa doesn't give up on anything. He's a freakish back rower.
Well, he often comes down with the ball. It doesn't matter whether he's fielding dropouts and chasing kicks from his own teammates. He often comes down with the ball, Ellie Katoa. He's had a real season. And he's got his skipper a try. Here it is, Harvey Norman replay. Jerome Hughes just putting it into no man's land. And Ellie Katoa, he goes up. Well, he doesn't even go up. He just keeps his eye on the football. And then Harry Grant, he's always there. He picks up a try in the semi-final.
It's no fluke. I mean, Melbourne Storm have been doing this for years. Years and years and years and years. But any 50% possession, any 50-50 chance where you can come up with it or they can come up with it, Melbourne Storm seem to win more than their fair share of these 50-50 contests. They constantly compete for the ball on the ground and in the air. All the time.
Well, the first thing is that they get to the contest. They work hard to get there. And Craig Bellamy, and he preaches compete on every play. It doesn't matter whether it's the first minute, the last minute, or every minute in between. Every play is important.
I think there's a term they use in the AFL about being hard at the ball. You know, when the ball's there for competition, be hard at it. Don't go in tentative. Don't go in half-hearted. Be hard at the ball. And that's what Melbourne Storm do. They're hard at the ball all the time. Any 50% possession, ball on the ground, ball on the air. If there's something there to be competed, they're in their boots and all.
They're winning the second half, 16 points to 0 now. Melbourne have that margin out to a 20-point buffer. That's travelled to 10. It's fair game. Look who comes down with it. Of course he does. Katoa again.
Well, right at the moment, we've got the same score as last night. It's been completely different games, completely different performances, but the minor premiers, the Melbourne Storm, the team running second, Panthers, both leading their opposition 30-10. They've been different, the Melbourne Storm. They haven't been like Penrith, have they? Different sort of game.
Penrith made a statement last night in the first half. They were ruthless. They just didn't give the Roosters a chance.
Winner of this game faces either the Roosters, Manly or the Bulldogs for a spot in the grand final. Up they go again. This time the other Katoa comes down with it.
Oh dear.
Knocked it on though.
Again, competing for the ball, forcing an error. Sometimes you don't come down with it, you just make sure your opponent doesn't.
Well, that's the other back rower. On the right-hand side, it was Ellie Katoa. This one's Sean Bloor. And Sharks challenging this.
Yes.
He went hard at the football, Sione Katoa.
I ran into Sean Bloor's father outside. I knew him from years ago. They were both Penrith boys, Dean Bloor and Sean Bloor. Good kids too.
Sione Katoa takes clean possession in the air. I just need to see if he loses it on the ground now.
I think he holds the football.
He's got it.
Comes down on the leg. Short grass here in Melbourne. I think the question will be whether he loses control into Sean Bloor there rather than it hitting the ground.
I think they worry about that
As
too
he's come
much.
to ground there, Sione loses possession into the Melbourne player, which is a knock-on. The challenge is unsuccessful.
They shouldn't worry about all that. They should just, if you go up and you come down with it,
Where
you've
we
got
going,
it. Little
Harry?
bobbles here and there.
In the middle, it's on the 10-metre line, boys.
The first words out of Chris Butler's mouth was that he maintained possession.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it again. Get a microscope out. Some magnifying glasses.
He found the knock-on that Jared
Jerome.
Sutton had seen in real time.
And they've got Big Nelson Asafa-Solomona outside the scrum here. I don't think he's playing in the centres.
Is he a decoy or is he going to get the ball, Billy?
It could be either.
You're not giving anything away there, are you? You got the ball.
Pappenhausen went to the big man. And Cronulla ready and waiting. Look out. Could kick off between him and Rudolph. They're still going at it, those two. And Nelson says, I want to be the friendly giant here. I don't want to miss a prelim.
Toby first going on with it.
Well, Toby was the one that wanted more.
Heads, mate. Thinking 1-on-1 here, possibly, mate, with the heads. Back, boys. Back we go. Back we go,
Couple of
Brennan.
big men.
Back we go. Back we go.
I've got to be honest, I don't know why I'd want to headbutt that. Here they are, they're just having a little, hello mate, how you
Satisfied with penalty and that's
Wrestle,
it.
wrestle.
Okay. Cameron,
There's nothing in that.
Toby goes in, pushing in the ruck. He does retaliate, and I'll speak to him, but Toby's the aggressor. Harry, Toby's the aggressor, but you got to keep your head. You don't want it to be
Play the
suspended.
ball.
There was nothing in that.
Play the ball.
Nothing in that whatsoever.
Don't go yet. I'll tell you when. Don't go yet.
Nothing in that, honestly. Jump at shadows.
Should we take the two, they're thinking? And they may as well choose some clock and keep everyone fit and well. Harry Grant waiting for confirmation.
He said, I'm not kicking it, so we'll tap it.
Hunting a try to entertain. Packed house at Amy Park even more. King already created one in the second half blitz.
Westpac red zone, 33-10. That's where the Melbourne Storm are right now.
Munster, what about that pass to Wishart, who was trying to cut back inside, lost his footing. Out of the line, Hunt goes high.
When you see Wishart's on that left wing,
Cameron.
that's where Xavier Coates
You got
would
another
usually
week to
be.
think about.
I'm
Let's just keep
expecting
our
that being
discipline here.
precautionary. Coming back from a hamstring injury, Xavier Coates.
Yeah, last week it was 52 minutes for Coates in his comeback game from that hamstring concern, so may as well put him in cotton wool right now. He's a key player heading into that prelim here at home, and this time they will take the shot.
Yep.
Manning lining up the shot to make it a 22-point lead.
Yeah, getting down to the last few minutes of the game. Storm have this well in hand. So just wear a little bit of time down on the clock. This will take them to 32-10, as opposed to the Panthers last night. It was 30-10. Been a great second half from the Melbourne Storm. We talked about the effect of the breeze, the wind, and having that try conceded just before half-time. They just shrugged it off. They've been dominant in the second half.
Meany adds two more. We saw Craig Bellamy a moment ago, Gus. 400 wins in his first 574 games as coach.
Yeah, it's an incredible record, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. All with the one club. came to the Melbourne Storm. He's assistant coach under Wayne Bennett at the Broncos. There's your week one of the finals, and the two favourites have won the first two games, 30-10. Panthers highly impressive last night. Storm at home 32-10 with a few minutes left on the clock. And tonight we head up to Townsville for elimination finals. Winner goes on, loser leaves the country. Bradley.
Sean Craig Bellamy actually had one win as a Broncos coach when he coached the baby Broncos against the West Tigers out at Campbelltown Stadium. All the players were out. He went down there with a bunch of rookies and got the money.
Is that in his tally? Is that an official victory?
I'm going to put it in.
You're putting it in?
I'm putting it in.
Did David Middleton put it in?
Wayne Bennett said it's sweet. Go in.
Do we take one off Wayne?
He won't give you one.
You can't have both winning the one game, Bradley.
Anything Wayne gave away was a homing pigeon.
And some cattle to Latrell. 21st time in 22 years since joining the Storm in 2003 that Bellamy's taken them to the finals.
Well, it's 18-0 in the second half here. Bradley Fittler, is the breeze still blowing down there?
Yep, hasn't stopped.
Yeah, right into the teeth of this breeze, 18-0.
They've done an incredible job. Amazing, actually. And you can see that a couple of times the Sharks thought get to an early kick. They just couldn't back it up with a good chase and a good set of six in defence.
Hughes has been so creative. This right side, threats everywhere, and they combine again, those two. Oh, Grant's got a hat-trick in a final in game number 99. And the milestone game will be a home prelim here at Amy Park for Harry Grant.
Yeah, another try for the kick chase. Ball becomes available. There's purple jerseys everywhere. They're all backing up in support. And Harry Grant, I keep going back to that halftime interview about how calm he was, how matter-of-fact he was about the scoreboard and the state of the game. And it's just come out in the confidence of their performance here in the second half. I'm not saying it's been easy. I'm not saying they haven't raised a sweat, but it's kind of like they've just been methodically out-competing their opponent. There it is again, a 50-50 possession. Knock the ball back, players in support. Harry Grant with a hat-trick. It's been this is how they do it all year. Well, they only lost 5 games all year, haven't they? They just out-compete everyone. I mean, it's not overly brilliant. It's just competitive. It's just, yeah, smile, coach. It's just competitive. They just compete, push and push. Make you feel uncomfortable until you say, all right, have it. You have it. Great coach, great club, and another great win in a big game.
He's into double figures this season. 11 tries now. Harry Grant with the 9 on his back, and they're standing for Harry. They're wild about Harry in Melbourne after a hat-trick on this stage. And Meany hasn't had his rangefinder on there.
Waiting, fellas. Stay behind it. They go early, Britain. They might switch it.
So Cronulla, who were right in the ball game at half-time with that try on the bell, making it 14 points to 10, have not been able to produce in the second.
And again, Qatar up above them. Comes up with the ball. That's the first hat-trick in the NRL for Harry Grant. I won't say it's the first hat-trick in his life, because I can imagine a few junior teams had their hands full with him when he was coming through the grades.
And after what Penrith did last night, Gus, what about the importance of winning this game and avoiding them in a prelim?
Yeah, well, the two top teams have won their way through and done it in style. Different sort of performances. Panthers were dynamic right from the get-go and very clinical. But the Storm, we're going to shot at a field goal here into the breeze.
Field goal practice from Pappy, and he's nailed it.
Stop it. That's 35 metres out into that breeze. You sure the wind's blowing down there, Bradley? Bradley's not there. He's gone off to get interviewed.
Oh, man, now he nailed that.
Is it still into the breeze?
Still into the breeze. You watch it hold up just as it gets towards the goalpost.
He's nailed that. You can't hit one better than that.
And who knows if they need a one-pointer in the prelim or the grand final. They now have a field goal in 2024. It comes when they led by 26. They hadn't had one throughout the entire campaign.
Well, that was just like getting on the back leg and swinging the bat and knocking one straight over mid-wicket. He just nailed that.
He's a keen golfer as well. He nailed the breeze, worked it all out. And Melbourne, emphatic. Their statement has come in this second half.
Yeah, brilliant. They're two good sides, aren't they? The Panthers and the Storm. Everyone will have to get on their bike if they want to challenge those two.
This big crowd at Amy Park booking their seats for the prelim in a fortnight. The Melbourne Storm, minor premiers, and now one win away from a grand final appearance again. Sensational second half performance. All over the Cronulla Sharks, who are now 0-4 in finals.